Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our AMAS Ask Me Any Stock session. If you guys can see and hear me, just type GM for good morning, guys. Let me know if this is working. Any sound you have already joined us and you're early. So today you can see, guys, I'm like one person, one man show because my team, Burbin and Z, they're on leave, right, taking a well-deserved break, and of course, Burbin is on reservist as well, right? So just type a GM for good morning, guys. If you can see and hear me loud and clear. So I might be a little bit slow today, all right, because it's just one man show. So just forgive me if not, I'm like trying to figure out where to click, a little bit of tech issue here and there, all right. Sometimes I'm not so good at all these things, all right. So good morning. We have Bat Guan. Hi, good to see you as well. Hi, John, Mifi, Styler. Every week you are here. Thank you so much. Hi, Andy. Good morning. Leo. Good morning. Jeannie. Helen. Morning. Colin. Morning. All right, so welcome, guys. This is working. I'm solo today, right here on Ask Me Any Stock session, right? Live, we're starting right now, right? So today, right, we'll be talking about the Singapore market. So those of you who are new to this entire Ask Me Any Stock session, right? Essentially, since like end of last year or maybe even beginning of the year, right? We have began every Friday, all right, doing what we call live sessions, right, at 10:30 a.m. sharp, right? Whether me, my team, or myself today, all right, every Friday we'll give you guys a quick market outlook, and then we'll dive into the stocks that you guys are looking at, right? So alternate Friday, right? US, Singapore, US, Singapore. So last Friday was US. So today I one person and I'll be covering Singapore. But next Friday, my team will be back, and then we will be doing US again, right? So if you're looking at Singapore stocks, yeah, you are in the right place. You're in the right place, right? So you can see right over here. I've also forgotten to let me just exit. So yeah, as I say, not very good. I forget to edit this just now, right? Today is Singapore, right? Singapore. So there will be a bonus Singapore stock at the end. All right, and back to my screen, right? Back to my screen right over here. All right. So good morning to all of you. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to our Ask Me Any Stocks live session. All right, and let's get started today, right? So essentially what happens is that I'll do a quick market outlook, right, in a bit. And after that, you guys can type the name of the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. And that's where I will go ahead to cover the stocks one by one. So, every Friday, normally, me and my team, like me, Burbin, or Z, will pass around the mic and then we'll cover, right? But today it's just me. So give me some time. I'll need some time to probably look through some of the Singapore stocks that you guys want, all right? And then I'll go through it with my one good trend strategy, all right? Basically, we have this one good trend pro indicator whereby on any stock, not just Singapore, even US or any other asset classes, right? You can turn it on and you get an opinion in seconds, right? Whether to buy or sell based on the bullish or even the bearish signals that are shown. So later I'll go through it, not to worry, right? Step by step. Right, and what happens is that at the end, all right, I will share with you guys just one Singapore stock that I like. After going through all yours, then my turn, right? This way I'll share with you guys one stock that I like at the end. You might want to put it in your watch list. We actually got some really good 1GT bullish signal coming out, all right, and I think there could still be more upside, all right? So make sure you stay all the way to the end. All right. Okay, so let's get started right now, right? As I say, my team, Burbin and Z, they're not here today, all right, but next Friday they'll be back. And they're all pretty much very well versed in my entire one good trend strategy. One of the top brokers under me in Phillip Securities as well, assisting with my group coaching, one-on-one session, and assisting our team's portfolio manager as well, right? But in case we have not met, my name is Joey Choi, top tier advisor and trader in Phillip Securities. I've been doing this for more than a decade, more than 15 years now, right? Pretty much looking at stocks day in, day out for the past 15 over years, right? And I have this strategy that I call the one good trend strategy, right? So I also teach my strategy to people who want to learn a little more, right? To people who are struggling in the stock market, they don't know when to buy, maybe they know when to buy, but also don't know when to sell, all right? And then, just second guessing, emotions coming in, FOMO, greed, and all these things, right? So these are some of the struggles that most people are facing. So that's where I also conduct some trainings, right, to teach people. This is not really my full-time job, just doing my best to help, right? So if you want to find out a little bit more about the entire strategy, you can attend one of those free webinars. So let me just place the link in the chat right here very quickly, all right? And that is where you can attend a free webinar. We do have a free webinar online training next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. So the link is right in chat. If you have not attended any of my webinar or training and you want to find out a bit more, the link is in the chat. Click on it and you can learn a bit more, right? I think Pauline, can I have the link to sign up for the 1GT light trial? Okay, very good. Okay, let me just grab the link as well. Essentially, if you want to test drive, right, this one good trend light indicator as well, right? So I have a pro version, which is what I'll be using later to go through your stocks, but we do have a simpler version whereby you can simply turn on the bullish and bearish signals only, all right? There's no other advanced features and stuff. That's where you could test drive my one good trend light indicator, all right? I'll just place the link in the chat, all right? Can check it out, Pauline, all right? And yeah, so let me just go through all your questions one by one. I mean, all the chat messages. Give me some time and I'll do my best to, pick the stocks later. All right, so this is a quick disclaimer. Whatever that's being shared today, all right, is just for education purposes only, all right? So please do your own due diligence, right? It's really not to ask you to buy or sell anything, right? Just really giving you a little bit of my opinion, but please do your own homework, all right? And this is a quick disclaimer that we have to share. All right. Okay, so let's get started right now. How many of you want me to cover like the markets today? This type of type M for markets, guys. Well, I take the time to go through some of the chat messages regarding the stocks that you guys, the Singapore stocks that you guys have already placed in the chat, right? Sell banks can sell. So let me just go through all the chat messages. But let me know, guys, if you want me to go through the market, this type of M for market. Okay, thank you so much, Vincent, Josephine, Dookie, hi, Guan, Maria, Andy as well, hi, Tony as well. All right, so M for market, right? Okay, very good. I'm just going through some of the stocks that you guys are typing in the chat, but let me just go ahead to cover the markets very quickly right now. All right, this is the S&P 500 index. So you can see very quickly, right? I have the markets right over here, S&P 500, one of the most popular index, right? That pretty much accounts, the top 500 stocks in the US, right? And it represents these top 500 stocks, and many people are looking at it, right? So you can see that for S&P 500 index, well, I've already turned on the 1GT Pro indicator, which I'll be using to analyze your stocks, right? You can see by in a matter of seconds, you can turn it off, pump, turn it on, off, all right? So if you turn it off, then it's like, nothing to see, right? So that's where you might need to do a little bit of a strategy, a little bit of, analyzing manually on when to get in and when to get out. But as I say, sometimes I'm very lazy, right? Based on the one good trend pro indicator, turn it on. And for any asset classes, even the markets, we can get an opinion in seconds. So this is the S&P 500. Well, I've been talking about it many times, over the past few AMAS sessions, right? So every time we got a bullish signal, of course, with other confirmation, like the short-term trend turning up, and there we go, all right, another bullish signal all the way up, another bullish signal all the way up. And of course, in like March, well, we got not one, but two bearish signal, right, coming out on the entire 1GT Pro indicator for the market, right? That was in like February, right? Even before the whole April Trump announcement of the reciprocal tariffs, right? And we started to sell all the way down from 6,002 to about 5,000, right? And then we got a new 1GT bullish signal. The short-term trend also started to turn up based on the green line. All right, up. All right, it's kind of like sloping sideways. Maybe still up, but a little bit sideways for now. All right, but another 1GT bullish signal actually came out, right? And we started to push even higher. So I think right now, let me just go to see what are some of the key support levels for the entire market, right? So we could go to draw or maybe turn on the trailing support level for the markets. You can see, right? When the first 1GT bullish signal popped up, this trailing support actually popped up as well, right? It followed the market as it moved even higher, all right? Up, flat, follow, flat, follow. And while following it, all right, as the name sounds, right, the trailing support, it gives the market room to breathe, right, to the allowance that's needed to hopefully go up more. And it accounts for volatility as well, right? So as long as you stay above the green, right, following trailing support line, I think we still look okay, right? So you can see right now we are still kind of like above it. There's still some space between the market price, all right, and the trailing support, all right? Just that the short-term trend that was turning up, I would say still kind of like turning up, in fact, still turning up. But, if we were to consolidate a little bit, then it might turn a little bit sideways, and that would be where we would see a short-term consolidation. So still okay for now, right? Anything above that 6,250 or maybe 6,000 300, all right, for the market, for the S&P 500 index, I think we still look pretty bullish. Of course, there could be some profit taking along the way, which is healthy as well, right? So the resistance level, I would say for the entire market would be maybe, all right, I think the 6,500, that would be a kind of like a key psychological resistance level for now. So 6,003 to 6,500, that is I would say the range for now as we probably go sideways for a while. That will be more healthy. That will be more healthy, right? So what are some of the news that have been affecting the market? Well, I think it's the same old news that I've been talking about, right? I mean, over the past few months, we have trade deals being made between the US and a dozen of countries like Korea, Japan, Indonesia as well. All right, of course, there's still some talks ongoing, and you can see that Donald Trump is using this tariff as a way to negotiate, as a way to kind of like get what he wants as well, right? And this is happening, right? This is happening. And in fact, the deadline, right, will be 1st August, which will be today, right? So I think there's a little bit of uncertainty coming back again. But, Donald Trump previously have extended the deadline. So he could be doing that, all right? Or maybe just, last minute trade deals being made. But all that I would say have already been priced in. People are more or less more positive now compared to like in April when he suddenly announced it, all right? And it caught everyone off guard. But now, I think people are more or less, bullish about it, right? Eventually the trade deals will come, all right? He's taking what we call a less aggressive approach. Even with China now, he has de-escalated as well. So that could be what we call a positive thing, unless he announced a sudden change again, or maybe escalate with China again, all that stuff, right? Then yeah, we might see some selling coming back, right? So that is the news. Of course, we have the interest rate news as well in terms of the Federal Reserve, right? So you can see that for Donald Trump, right, he's kind of like pressuring the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, right, to cut rates, right? But so far, I think Jerome Powell is kind of assessing because of these tariffs, there might be, increase in prices, a little bit of inflation coming back. So he's more hesitant to cut rates, right? So there could be a rate cut probably in September, maybe to end of the year. It's still ongoing, right? It's still being discussed. People are expecting it maybe one rate cut by end of the year. But I think that remains to be seen, right? But I think if the rate cut would come, that would be a positive for the market as well. All right. So this is the S&P 500 index, right? So how many of you want me to go through like maybe the STI, the Singapore market, this type of S for STI? Let me know, guys, if you want me to go through the STI. Let me know, right? So welcome for those of you who have just joined us. We have like more than 200 of you over here. We are live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So today is just me, one person. So forgive me if I'm a little bit slow, all right, having to figure out where to click. Normally, Bervin and Z will be helping me to click, all the other stuff, right? I just focus on my part. But now I have to figure out like where to click to show your comments on the screen, right? Okay, very good. Hi, STI. Thank you so much as well, Tony. STI. All right, okay, very good. So let's go ahead to cover maybe the Straits Times Index very quickly, all right, before we look at the Singapore stocks that you guys want covered, all right? So STI, right over here, right? So very quickly, you can see that I've turned on the 1GD Pro indicator, right? So let me just keep it simple. You can see, right, since April, I'll not go too far, but you can see every time we got a bullish signal. That was in, when was this? That was in August last year, all right? Short-term trend, the green line was going down due to a bearish signal, started to turn up, and there we go, all the way up, all right, another bullish signal all the way up. In fact, in the most recent bullish signal was in 17th of April, right, 17th April, and there we go, all the way up. And what happened, right, over the past 1 week, well, finally, we actually got a bearish signal, right? We've got a 1GD bearish signal, right? Why is it cause to be concerned? Is it time to be scared, right? To get out, right? Are we going to crash and stuff, right? Step by step. Don't worry. Let's see what is happening, right? Why are we actually having a bearish signal for the STI? So let's take a look, right? So you can see that for the STI, before we even talk about a bearish signal, right? You can see that we have been in the longer term uptrend, right? What do I mean by longer term uptrend? Well, essentially, we look at the trend of a stock, of a market over the past year, 6 months, 1 year, maybe up to 2 years as well, right? Just to see that, have we been forming what we call higher lows, right? Higher lows whereby, each time it goes down, buyers comes back, it pushes it even higher, all right? It comes down a bit, then go up even higher, all right? We form higher lows. And that has been happening, I would say, since more than a year back, all right? And looking at the 100 days moving average, the red line, and the 200 days moving average, the blue line, you see, both of them have been pointing up since like last year, all right? Red above the blue, both pointing up. Are we still in the longer term uptrend? Well, still in the longer term uptrend, red is above the blue and both pointing up, correct? So longer term trend is still up, right? So nothing to be too worried about, right? Nothing to too worried about. But let's see, right? Why are we seeing a 1 GT new bearish signal coming out after about 3 months? Well, I can turn on the trailing support line to show you right over here, right? So this trailing support, as I say, right? For any stock, even for the market, right? It accounts for volatility and it follows the market as it moves even higher, right? But don't follow too closely, right? You follow it, you give it space to breathe, all right? And you can see somewhere over here, we headed down to it and we rebounded from it, all right? Rebounded from the trailing support that's been following the market. So as long as you're above it, you're fine because we give you the space to be above, right? So you should be above, like if you're good, right? But if you go below it, then there could be a bit of selling coming back. Doesn't mean it's going to crash or what. It just means there could be a bit of a heavy selling coming back. Just want to take a more cautious approach, all right, and look for more confirmation. So you can see, right, finally, right, after 3 months, well, yesterday we saw a bit of a sell down in the market, more than 30, 40 points in the STI, all right, and we actually saw just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. We actually saw prices or the market going below the trailing support, just closing slightly below it. So that's a fact. I mean, we can't change that, right? We can't, like shift this and stuff, right? So the fact is that we actually went below this trailing support that accounts for the volatility of the market. So definitely some selling coming back. But if you look at just the bearish signal, we are indeed seeing a bit of selling. But the point here is that for my one good trend strategy, right, we don't just look at the bearish signal, you get scared and stuff, right? Or you see a bullish signal, you just anyhow buy. No, right? That gives us a very good guide. It's a very good confirmation, right? But what we want to see is that is there other confirmation that can show that we are heading lower. Like for example, when we got the bearish signal, so let me show you what I mean, right? Okay, so previously, right over here. So we got a bearish signal, right? That was in 4th of April, right? That was when Trump actually introduced the tariffs, right? I think that was on Friday. Yeah, Friday, right? 4th April, we got a bearish signal. We broke down a trailing support. And you take a look at the green line, this green 20 days moving average, right? That was actually going up, flat. And when that happened, the green line pump down. Does it make sense? Not 1-2 days, for like about one over month, down, right? Does it make sense? All right. So that would be another confirmation that, the short-term trend is indeed turning down. We could see a retracement down. All right. Maybe to where the longer-term moving averages are. So if you look at what is happening right now, let's take a look at the green line. I mean, don't need to bluff ourselves, all right? Let's take a look at the green line. Let me know, guys, if this green 20 days moving average line, I mean, is it up or down? Just type in the chat, guys. U for up, D for down. Let me know. What do you guys think about the green 20 days moving average line? Is it up or is it down? Right? U for up, D for down. Let me know. Type in the chat. Let me know. Let's see, right? LS hold as well, up as well, Che up as well, up. John up, Josing up. So yeah, I think all of you can see. So I mean, don't need to blind yourself. Up means up, down means down. Primary school also can see. Okay. So essentially, well, even though we got a 1 GT bearish signal, because the fact, as I said, we did break below the trailing support that accounts for the volatility space, right? So we actually have a 1 GT bearish signal. But if you want to seek more confirmation, right? The green 20 days moving average line is actually, not actually, I mean, it is pointing up. It's still pointing up right over here. And today, in fact, we have kind of like pushed away from this green 20 days moving average line. Right? So I think it's still okay. It's still okay. All right. That is just one confirmation. And of course, like if it changes, eventually we go below the 4,150, we go below 4,001, and then you see the green line, all right, that is going up. Start to like suddenly point down that then you want to be careful. That will be a confirmation that we are indeed seeing some weakness in the short term, maybe all the way to 4,000 to 3,009. We may see a pullback, then maybe you want to think about getting in later or be more patient in terms of getting in. But right now, right, the fact is that the short-term trend is still pointing up, right? The longer-term trend, the red and blue, that one has been up since last year. That one easy to see, right? So I think we need a bit more confirmation to see if there's really heavy selling coming back. If there's really a short-term retracement by another 5 or 10%, we need more confirmation. Right now, it still looks okay. In fact, if I could draw maybe a bit of a support level, it could be anywhere from around 4,150. I think 4,150. That was where we broke as well. A little bit of a psychological level. Could be where some bargain hunting can come back for the STI. All the way to 4,300 level, right? So let's see, right? Let's see. I think over the next few weeks will be crucial if we can, stay above the 4,150 or maybe even above 4,002 back again. That would be where the market can be more bullish still, and we can carry on, all right, our bullish momentum. All right, so that is the markets. That is the market, right? So yes, we have covered the markets, right? The S&P 500 index and the STI. So those of you who are just joining us, welcome, right? Welcome to our Ask Me Any Stock session. Today is the Singapore market, So very simple, right? Right now, what you want to do is to type in the chat, right? Type in the chat the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on, right? So it's me, just one person today. So as I say, give me some time, guys, because when my team is here, right? Normally when you're talking there, I can kind of like go through the stocks and fine, right? But today it's just me, one person. So after one stock, I probably look for the next stock and then cover next stock and then I'll look for the next stock as well. So it might take some time, all right? Take some time. So give me some time, but essentially, I will go through, all right, the Singapore stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. So going to type in the chat, guys. Let me just go through very quickly, type in the chat right now. And one thing to take note of, guys, don't just put one name there, right? UOB, what, okay? Like every session, I forget to mention just now, sorry, normally it's actually my team will remind me, right? So what happens is that you want to give us a bit of context, all right? Not just a Singtel or DBS, but like, what do you want to know about Singtel or DBS? Like, are you thinking about buying? Have you sold it last week? I mean, you bought it 1 month ago. What price? Right? What are you trying to do? Right? Let us know the intention so that a bit of context, so that at least when we go through your Singtel or your DBS, at least we can advise a little bit, more personalized to you, rather than just one name there. Does it make sense? About right? Then I'll give a bit more priority, right, to those who a bit of context, so that I think it can help you as well better. Would that sound good, right, Ken? So give us a bit of context when you type the name of the Singapore stock that you want. Give me a bit of context. Are you looking to buy? Are you looking to sell? You bought at what price? You bought 2 months ago, 1 year ago, 10 years ago. I don't know, right? Give us a bit of context. Give me a bit of context, right? So now let me go through one stock very quickly. Let me just see, right? Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, let's take a look at this stock, right? ND Tan, LHN, right? One of the stocks that we like as well. I think we sent to our clients in Phillip Securities. So let's take a look at this first stock called LHN by ND, right? A bit of context. Thank you so much, right? Bought LHN at 79 cents. Let's take a look. Okay, so now it's 815. You bought at 79. So yeah, make a bit, right? Can accumulate, right? Any positive signal, please comment. Very good, Andy. Thanks for giving me a bit of context. And that's where I give you priority as well. As I say, guys, those who want more priority for me to cover, give us a bit of context, right? What are you looking to do, right? Price you bought, whatever, right? So that we can I'll be able to give a little bit more personalized kind of like opinion, right? Based on my one good friend strategy. So this is LHN. Not too bad. I mean, I would say for LHN, one of the stocks that we like since a couple of months back. In fact, we had a couple of bullish signal, 1GT bullish signal coming out. As I say, guys, now we are looking through the Singapore market, right? Even for the S&P, for the STI, we can turn it on. Any asset class, look at this, right? Turn it off, gone, right? Empty, right? Wow, stress, nothing happened. You don't know what to see, right? But in a matter of seconds, you turn it on, you can see if there's any bullish or bearish signal, right? So if you see a bearish rate signal, then maybe you don't want to buy. I mean, be more patient, right? Before you want to rush and get in, right? But when the bullish signal comes in with a few other confirmations, I think that could be where it can guide you to get back in. So for LHN, very simple, right? We had a couple, I'm not go too far, but I think you can see every time we got a bullish signal, the green 20 days moving average line turn up, all the way up. Bearish signal in February, came down, another bearish signal. You want to be patient now, wait, right? So after that, 1 month later, finally in April, we got 2 bullish signal. And there we go, right from here all the way to where we are, about 86%, 86% in 3 months. Not too bad, right? So you have got in earlier, Andy, based on this bullish signal, even better. But never mind, I mean, you got in at 79 cents, still a little bit higher, but let's see what it is showing right now. All right, so you bought at 79 cents, right? 79 cents, now it's 0.815. I would say that we would see probably a bit of resistance around that 92 cents. That was where we were just about 2 weeks back. Sellers came back. The green 20 days moving average line, you can see it was up. Right now, still kind of like pointing up a little bit, right? Pointing up a little bit. But you want to just take note, right? You want to take note because prices have kind of like gone below the 20 days moving average line. All right, I'm not saying that it's going to crash or what, step by step, but because prices have gone below the green 20 days moving average line. So that is where we may see a little bit of selling. Of course, the green line is still pointing up, but let's say if the green line starts to, like this, start point, and then you want to be careful. That's where we may really see some selling might have broken what we call a support level. So if we can quickly turn on the trailing support level, let me show you what I mean, right? So over here, we got two bullish signals. A trailing support has popped up since April. As I say, this trailing support, it follows a stock. It gives it the breathing space, right, to hopefully move higher, right? You go up there and follow, you go up there and follow some more, right? And as long as you're above it, then okay lah, not to worry lah, right? Because we give you the space to breathe, right? If you go near it, maybe there could be a good entry as well. If you see some bullish candlestick price action, like over here, look at this, right? We near it, a bullish candlestick came out, pam, we went even higher, right? So right now the question is that, are we above the trailing support line? Well, you can see, right, there's some space. We kind of like dip below and use up some of the space, but the fact is that we're still above the trailing support line that is around that 0.765. Does it make sense, Andy? All right. So if we stay above 765, I mean, I think it's still okay. If we stay above 765 or maybe 77, we may be just consolidating over here. All right. Short-term trend maybe still up, maybe sideways. If we continue to consolidate here, it might turn a bit sideways like this green line. It might just turn a little bit sideways if we were to consolidate, right? So if we were to stay above 765 or 77, well, then I think it's still okay. But just take a look, right? So as I say, normally what we want to do, of course, if let's say we have gone in over here, right? 86%, right? We want to have a stop loss. So same thing, and for you, Andy, I mean, if you have gone in slightly higher, same thing, you would want to have a plan, you want to have a stop loss. We do place our stop loss below what we call the trailing support level, just to protect, like in case, let's say you've gone in here, it comes down, it breaks the trailing support, you get a bearish signal, all right? You hit your stop loss, you get out, you still make money, right? You still make money. So you want to take steps to have a plan to get out in case it does break what we call a very key trailing support level, and that would be the 0.76 level. All right, but so far so good, right? Not saying that it will break. I think so far it's still good. It seems like we're maybe even pushing away from this trailing support, maybe all the way up back to the 91 cents resistance level. All right, so that will be the very first stock for today, LHN. So let me go to cover the next stock, right? Let me go to cover the next stock. So let me go to look through your comments. So type in the chat, guys. As I say, a little bit of context in terms of the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. All right, let's see, right? Okay, let's see, right? JM, Yangzijiang, entry 2.54. Average. So I think you got in about 2.54 average lah. All right. Hold. I mean, you're asking about whether should you hold, is it? Right. So you've got in, maybe you're thinking whether should you hold, maybe you can go up some more, you can take some profit higher, right? So let's find out. Yangzijiang, YZJ, Shipbldg. I think that's one of the very popular stocks as well that I get asked quite often on. So let me just go to remove some of the drawings. So you can see, right, I've drawn some of those very key resistance level. I've turned on the trailing support level as well. So let's just see, right? Very quickly, you can see for Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, all right? JM, I hope you're still here. Let this right now. Okay, Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, $2.57, right? So I won't go too far, but you can see for Yangzijiang, well, it's been pretty, up and down. We had a couple of good bullish signals in beginning of 2024. Wow, pump, all the way up. Bearish signal, it starts coming down, all right? And recently in like February, all right, about 6 months back, 5 months back, all right, we got two bearish signal and we go all the way down, right? So as I say, when you see a bearish signal, right, for any asset classes, any stock, turn it on, you see a bearish signal, then you want to be careful. What for you? When you see a bearish signal, the short-term trend turning down, you go and buy for what, right? You buy here, cannot start, go down, cannot start, right? Buy, go down, right? So we don't buy a stock because it's cheap, right? We buy when there are signs of strength, when there are signs of a reversal, right? What do I mean by reversal? Well, when we do get like a reversal, a bullish signal coming back, like over here, look at this, right? Plus the green line that was going down also started to turn back up, flat. Now I would say the green line still pointing up, right? Plus we got another one GT bullish signal coming out, right? So let's go back to your question, right? JM, what you type, right? got in about $2.54 average. So now it's 256, about 2 cents. Okay, still okay. All right, still okay. All right. Of course, if you have gone in earlier based on these bullish signals from $2 to 220 or 230, even better, right? But I think that Yangzijiang Shipbuilding still looks quite okay. It still looks quite okay. I mean, 260, just write it down. Okay, 260 is a very key psychological resistance level. Look at it, right? 260 was where we were from July last year. Touch, came down, what touch, come down again, touch, come down, and finally, bam, we broke above it. And what happened? Starts to move up. Does it make sense? Well, all right. So now we are back to the same 260, whereby last year we touched like 4 or 5 times and came back down, right? We're still below it, right? But the point here I'm trying to make is that if we can break the 260, right? The past 1 week, right? It seems like we're attempting to break above it, go up, then come back down, go up, then come back down. So that is still a very key resistance, which is normal, because as I said, last year we actually touched 4 or 5 times and came down, right? So now you tell me you touch and come down, it's correct, it's normal, it's supposed to be, right? Because that's where we can see some selling, right? But the point is that if we can be like last year and we break above it, above the $2.60, yeah, we may even see a new 1 GT bullish signal coming out, like what we saw last year in December, right? In December, then it starts to go up, right? So right now, like $2.56. So I think we want to monitor it for a while more. I think if we can break 260, we go to 262, 263, 264, and you can see I've set my alerts right over here, right? 264. Let me just set maybe 265, right? These are some of the key levels. Like if you to break that level, I think we could look at it again for more price action. And if we hold above 260 now, targets could then be revised all the way to the $3 level, right? So I think for Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, nothing too concerned about. I think it still looks pretty okay. The short-term trend is up. I can turn on the trailing support to show you what it says, right? Well, trailing support that has been following Yangzijiang Shipbuilding since May has been going up, flat, up, follow, and it's around the 240 lah. So anything above 240, but I don't think even 240 lah. Now I think 250 would come out as a little bit of a horizontal support level, right? Seems like some bargain hunting is coming out right around 250, right? Not even 240, right? So I think anything above 240 or 250, the uptrend looks intact. We could still see the reversal in play and ongoing, all right? So that is YZJ Shipbuilding. Let me move on to the next stock, right? Let me move on to the next stock. Okay, let's see, right? So just give me some time. I'm going to go through, guys, some of the stock, right? Okay, Aiden, Frencken wholesale, Siong wholesale. Aiden, let me know what like type in the chat. Let me know, guys. So not just wholesale, but what have you bought it? I mean, are you looking to sell? So you have bought it, what price, right? So that would be better, so that we can give you a bit of a better analysis, lah. All right. So let's take a look at maybe Frencken, 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 one of the tech stock in the Singapore market that I covered as well. All right, but let's take a look at how it is doing right now. Look at this, right? $1.67. So either not too sure whether you are holding on to it or you're looking to buy. All right, but let me just go to analyze it. So as I say, guys, give us a bit of context. Let us know, like, if you have bought it at what price, if you can. All right, or maybe if you have hold it for 1 or 2 months, things like that, right? But if you put hold slash sell, I don't know what you mean by hold slash sell. Are you looking to sell or what? All right. Okay, so let's take a look. Frencken, $1.67. You can see very quickly, I've turned on the 1 GT Pro indicator, right? Not too bad, right? I mean, since like last year, we got bearish signal, bearish, red, go down. So just be careful, right? Don't buy when it's bearish, right? You buy when not just one, but also 2 1 GT bullish signal came out, all right? So we got a bullish signal right over here, and from the bullish signal in April all the way to where we are now, 78.1%, all right, in about 3 months, right? How many of you think that's pretty cool, right? 78.1% in 3 months, right? So not too bad. I mean, it started to push up, all right? I'm not too sure what price you bought, Aiden, but I think you have got in over here, great, all right? Now it's about taking steps to protect your profits, right? Especially if we hold above certain support level. I mean, if we break that support level, then you might want to think about getting out. So what is the support level that have came out? So I can draw this support level. I would say $1.60 would be a bit of a support that have came out over the past 1 over week, right? But you want to put this in your, this price level right down, right? I think this is a very key resistance level. Look at this, right? It used to be about 165, but let's just put at about $1.70, right? $1.70. Let me just write it down, right? 170. All right, and you can see for Frencken, since last year, March, same thing. We hit it to near the 170, 165. We got a bearish signal all the way down. Rebounded back up, same thing, headed to that 165, 170, all the way down again. Right, so you can see, guys, right now we are pretty much back to that same, 165 to 170 psychological resistance level, right? So if we are seeing some selling over here, I think that's normal. In fact, over the past 1 week, right, you can see that that's where, some bearish candles have appeared. It went up, sellers came big and push it back down. So I think the range is 160 to 170 for now. And if I can quickly turn on the trailing support level, right over here, let's see, right, trailing support, bullish signals popped out on the 22nd of April, right? A trailing support follow, right? Follow as it moves higher, and this trailing support is around 150. Does it make sense so far? All right, around $1.50. So as long as we stay above the trailing support that has been following it, that's been giving it the space to move up, I think we still look okay. Plus, the green line that is sloping up, it kind of like coincides with where the trailing support is as well, around 150, right? And of course, the green line is pointing up as well, all right? So I think that could be a very good support level, 150. As long as you stay above 150, whereby there's some space given, it is good to go. But as I say, right, seems like $1.60, which is a higher horizontal support level, right? Over the past week, some bargain hunting is coming back there already, right? So I think it might just be consolidating, right, from 160 to 170, up, down, up, down. Of course, if 160 to give way, then unfortunately we might hit lower to 150, right? But that is the range, right? So eventually, if we break 170, I think that's where targets could be raised, maybe even all the way to that $2, right? $2 could be the next psychological resistance level. All right, so that is for Frencken. One of the stocks that we actually covered, we shared with our VIP clients in Phillip Securities since a couple of months back, right? Let me know, guys, how many of you are clients of mine in Phillip Securities? I mean, you have a trading account under me. This type of C for client, guys. If you actually are a client of mine in Phillip Securities, just want to acknowledge you and thank you for your support as well. Let me know. How many of you are clients of mine in Phillip? All right, I think we do have quite a bit of clients joining us on our weekly AMAS session, but I just want to find out if any of you are here. Wow, quite a lot, right? Aiden, Klein, thank you so much. John, Celia, Francis, Estelle, Dave, Klein, Chua as well, William. Hey, thanks so much for the support. Paul as well. Harish, good to see you as well. Hi. Vayapuri as well. Klein, thank you so much. All right, Mahisa, good to see you as well. All right, very good. Thanks for the support, guys. For those of you who are client of mine, we have a lot of clients over here. So, but in case you're not yet a client, I mean, for those of you who are client, great. I believe you should be getting our free daily ideas by WhatsApp, right, for free, right? If not, please reach out to my team or send me an email, right? But if you're a client of mine in Phillip Securities, what happens is that you do get our ideas daily for free, all right, for free, right? So if you're not yet the client of mine in Phillip Securities, right, what happens is that can find out how to become a client of mine in Phillip Securities, especially if you are trading. I mean, you probably need a trading account, right? So if you are trading and you don't get much service from your own broker, right? Nobody send you any ideas, no WhatsApp on this Frencken that I think we sent out a couple of weeks back as well, right? Nobody send you any videos, no idea who the person is as well. It's like hotline, right? Check it out. I'll just place the link in the chat, find out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities, like many of my clients over here, all right, for free, right? At no additional cost, So the link is in the chat, right? The link is in the chat. Find out how to become a client of mine in Phillip Securities. And Andy Tang, how to join? It's free, right? You open a trading account, it's free on. Don't need to pay money, right? Right. So you need a trading account to buy and sell stock, right? So I don't know where you're trading, but you probably need to log into an app, online platform, right? To buy and sell your stock, right? So the question is that Are you just logging alone and nobody bother about you, nobody care about you, nobody send you any idea, video, WhatsApp, training, nothing, right? If it's like that, then you click on the link in the chat and find out how you can become a client of mine, like Steven, like Samuel, Styler, right? Leo, Jerry, client, Yvonne, client. Thank you so much, right? So those of you who are clients over here, I really appreciate your support. I hope my team and myself have been doing our best to just add value to you, sending you all those ideas every day as well. All right, Ken. So those of you who are not a client, the link is right in the chat. All right, Pauline can be a client if you already have a broker. Yes, all right. Pauline, just go to fill up click on the link in the chat, fill up some details. My team will reach out. All right, so you can have an account under me. My team will share more as well. All right, I'm one of the clients. Thank you so much, Rajan. Appreciate that. Appreciate your support as well. Andy, it's free. Andy Tang is how to join. It's free to become a client in Phillip Securities. No membership. Free. All right. It is. You pay the same as whatever you pay when you're trading, right? But you do get some service as well. All right, and some of our top ideas like Frencken, even I think for Yangzijiang shipbuilding, we sent out a note as well, probably a few weeks back as well. And I think the price has gone up, right? So that's where we share some ideas daily by WhatsApp to our clients for free. Okay, let's move on to the next stock, right? Let's move on to the next stock. Any minimum deposit amount, how long, hold for how long? No, there's no minimum deposit. Up to you. I mean, of course, we do appreciate your support as well. If you buy and sell and trade under the trading account, which you actually need to buy and sell stock, right? So there's no minimum or what, all right? Okay, Ken? Forget if I'm a client, positive check. Send me an email, Jared, all right? If you're on my email list, send me an email or reach out to my team as well, all right? We can check, all right? And, to make sure that you are getting the right, ideas, or you're in our WhatsApp list as well, all right? Okay, so let me move on right now to cover the next stock, All right, Lillian, interested to join, right? Click the link, all right? Click the link. The link is in the chat. Let me just place the link one more time in case it's like very floating upwards. Let me place the link in the chat one more time. That is the link to find out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities, right? For free, right? For free, and no additional cost to get some of our ideas daily by WhatsApp, all right? For free, okay? The link is already in the chat. Okay, very good. Now let's move on. So give me some time, guys. As I say, I'm alone today, so I might be a little bit slower, right? Because normally my team is talking, then I can go and choose a stock. But now I need to go and look through and see what is the next Singapore stock to choose. All right. So we have covered LHN, Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, and Frencken, right? Let's see, right? Sheng, should be Sheng, right? Paul, I hope you're still here, right? Sheng. Let's take a look at Sheng. Where is it? Right up here. 1, 2, 3. All right. So I do like Sheng. In fact, it's where we always go to our weekly groceries and stuff, right? So you can check it out. All right. This stock at $2 and what? $2.10. So let me go to just turn off the trailing support level, so it's a bit cleaner. All right. So you can see for Sheng, right, we have been covering it since last year. I mean, it's one of those stocks that is a very gradual uptrending stock, slow and steady, higher lows, but we might consolidate a while for 3-4 months and then start to push higher, which is okay. I mean, of course, sometimes can be quite boring, like over here from November to like around April, right? You can see that the green 20 days moving average line was up and then flat. Boring, right? But what happens? It started to wake up, all right? Of course, we sent out a note to our clients as well, all right? Right over here, when we got a new 1 GT bullish signal on the, to be exact, 17 April. Plus, when that happened, the green line that was boring started to turn up as another confirmation, right? I mean, that's where we started to move, right? Then flat again, then up again. I would say the green line, I would say, still pointing up, right? Does it make sense, All right, so short-term trend is up, longer-term trend, the red and blue, I mean, it's been up since last year, that one easy to see, okay, Ken? So still okay. The bullish signals, I would say we have a few more new 1 GT bullish signals coming out in June, all right, and July, 2nd of July, it went even faster, right? But let's see what has happened over the past 1 to 2 weeks, all right? So I think, Paul, position at 1.99. So I think you got in at 1.99, maybe over here, 1.99. I think probably on last beginning of July, I think right over here, right? And it went all the way up to $2.20, all right? And then we started to see a bit of a retracement right now, right? So very key psychological resistance level would be $2.20. Why? Well, that was where we were just last week. And you can see that we got I would say, kind of like a candle whereby sellers came back and pushed it all the way back down below 220. So 220 would be a psychological resistance level. Now, what we could do is that we can take a look at if there are any support levels whereby, if you can stay above it, actually it's still okay. It's just consolidating a little bit of a profit taking as it moves sideways. So what could be a support level? Well, I think the $2 is a psychological support level for now, right? First of all, it's $2, right? Any, like $2, $1, $10, $5, these are what we call psychological support level. You can hold above it, still okay, right? But if I can have another guide in terms of the support, all right, I can turn on the trailing support level. You can see right over here, and this is what I draw, right? But you can see that if I remove this horizontal support, well, the trailing support is also right over here at that $2. All right, as I say, this trailing support, I give it a bit more weight because, all right, it accounts for the volatility of a stock. And since like April, for the past 3 months, we have been above it, right? Even when it was moving sideways, we were kind of like above it as it consolidates, right? Bullish signals, it goes even higher. It followed it up even higher, all right? Because now it is not really moving, so it starts to flatten out. But the point here is that we are still kind of like, above the trailing support level. So I think anything above $2, right, it is still okay. It is still okay. In fact, right, today is Friday, right, 1st of August. And the market has not closed. Now it's what time? About 11:18 a.m., right? But right now, it seems like we got this candle coming out right over here as we approach. This is live, guys. It's kind of like moving, right? So this candle came out right over here as we approach that $2 level, right? This is something like a doji, something like a reversal kind of signal whereby, if maybe, in the morning just now at 9+ a.m. or 9:30 or 10 a.m., right? It was actually a red candlestick bar, right? Whereby, it could be very bearish. You open, it went all the way to the low. And the low was what? The low was 203 there, all right? 203. But what happens? The fact is that we are seeing this candle right now, whereby buyers actually came back, all right, near 203, so the low was 203, buyers came back 204, 205, 206, 207, 208, now it's 209, all right? So that would be a pretty good candle whereby we see a long lower shadow. It just means that buyers have came out, right, as we approach that trailing support level that, we give it the space to be above, right? And push it back up. So that's a sign of strength. That's a sign of strength, right? Of course, the market has not closed yet, but as of right now, at about 11:19 a.m., I think if we can maybe even go above $2.10, that could be a very good kind of like bullish reversal candle, right? Maybe all the way back to the same $2.20 resistance level. Does it make sense, All right, so that's how we, when we use my one good trend strategy. Of course, we use certain tools like the bullish signals. We get a few more confirmations. We do look at candlestick as well as another confirmation as well, right? So today, as I said, guys, I don't really have the time to cover the entire strategy, right? So if you want to find out a little bit more in terms of the entire strategy, or perhaps how, when to get in, when to get out, or perhaps how we actually filter out like the top 1% of stocks, right? Put them in the watch list and know what to do with them, right? When to get in and get out on the top 1%. What you could do, right, is to attend a free webinar. So let me just place the link in the chat, right, in case I forgot, right? Because normally my team will do it, but let me just place the link in the chat. So in case you have not attended any of my webinar, you want to find a bit more, the link is right in the chat. Click on it, right? Click on it, and you'll come to this page right over here, right over here, right? So you can see we do have a class next Tuesday, 5th August, 7:30 p.m. sharp. We'll be starting on time, right? So you want to find a bit more, click on the link, you come to this page, register your spot, and I'll see you next Tuesday live, whereby I can share with you more on the entire one good trend strategy, and perhaps how you could have an indicator, a tool like this to guide you on when to get in and get out as well. All right, so this is Sheng, right? I think 220 is a very key level. Of course, you can see I set some alerts already. 221, 222, right? 223, 224. Right, let me just set one more at 224. Right, if you can break 220, I think that would be another leg up. Targets could then be revised, right? Maybe all the way up to, maybe 240 to 250, right? So this is definitely one of the stocks on my watch list. I think so far so good, right? So far so good as of now. It still looks okay. $2 seems to be a pretty good support, right? not just a trailing support, but also a psychological horizontal support for now. All right, so that is Sheng. Okay, so let me move on. Let me move on to cover the next stock. Right, let's see. Vincent, right? Joey, can have a look at AEM, please. Thank you so much, Vincent, for typing a very good context, right? Let me just read it. So, can have a look at AEM, please, right? One of the tech stock, right? Is the stock on uptrend and good to buy, all right? I asked because it has come down a lot from its historical high and was a market darling previously, right? Yes, definitely AEM was one of the market darling, push all the way up, but we definitely saw some selling coming back over the past 1 over year, right? So you're asking if the stock is on an uptrend, right? Is it good to buy? Is it start to going up already? Then you can maybe start to buy as it go up and make some profits, right? So let's find out, right? Let's find out about AEM. Thank you so much for giving the context, Vincent. I hope it's still over here. All right, let's take a look at AEM. One of the tech stock, right? One of the tech stocks that is playing catch up to stocks like Frencken that we covered just now. All right. So where is AEM? Let's see, right? AEM. So we want to find the Singapore AEM, right? Let me just maybe right over here. AEM SGD. Let's click on it. Wow, let's take a look, right? So it seems like I've done a little bit of analysis. All right, and let's find out, right? Okay, let me just go to remove the trailing support very quickly. And let's see, right? So you are right, right? You're right, Vincent. For AEM, right? Since last year, in fact, since 2023, right? We have been in a downtrend. So we never, okay, let me just remove the comment because it's a bit, so this is AEM, guys, AEM. Let me just hide it so that you can see the screen a little bit clearer. So you can see that for AEM, guys, if you ask me to buy, like last year, probably no lah. Why? I mean, the longer term trend, look at the red and the blue line, red going down, blue going down, we got bearish signals, pump, two coming out, then all the way down, right? A bullish signal came out, maybe went up for 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then a bearish signal, and then another bearish signal, and it goes all the way down again, right? So longer term trend is down. Short-term trend is down. Look at the green line, right? Pointing down like nobody business, right? Plus, you got bearish signal. Buy for what? I mean, why are you going to buy stock, right? So we don't want to buy when the trend is down, when there are a lot of confirmations that are saying that it's going to go down. Does it make sense? All right. We only want to buy when there are signs of a reversal of the trend starting to turn up. You see what I'm saying so far? All right. So has it happened? Let's find out, right? So you can see that for AEM, all right, as I say, since last year, the red is above the blue. Red is below the blue. Red below the blue, both pointing down. So the long-term trend is down. We at least want the long-term trend to be up lah. What for you want to go against the long-term trend, right? Whereby you get in and then go up a bit, then come back down even more, right? So you don't want to go against the long-term trend, right? It's like kind of like riding the waves, all right? You're going against the waves, like huge waves coming in, and you're trying to surf out. How do you actually do that, right? So it's very difficult if you're going against the trend, right? So how then do we know if the trend has started to turn up, or at least showing some signs of a reversal in the longer term? Well, let's take a look at the red and blue line, right? You can see that the red and the blue line, well, the red line has started to slightly cross above the blue line, right? But it is still kind of like, slightly below it, right? Red below the blue. And, there are definitely some signs of it turning up. Look at these guys, right? The red is below the blue, but can you see that? Maybe, right? If we can stay above some of the key levels, I'm going to talk about it in a bit, right? But if we stay above some of those key support levels, this red line will eventually, I think, something like that. This is what I'm drawing, right? It will be a 100 days moving average. And this blue line will be something like that, right? Something like that, right? That would be a blue 200 days moving average. So when this happened, I haven't yet, right? But of course, you can see when the red went below the blue, all the way down, bearish signal, pump down, all right? But when this happened, finally, okay, that could be potentially the start, the beginning, all right, of the longer term uptrend forming. Does it make sense so far? All right. It hasn't happened yet. As I said, this is what I draw, right? This one is I draw one, okay? But if we can stay above some of those support levels, I think there could be a pretty good potential that, it might happen, right? And of course, we want to break above a very key resistance level. I'm going to share with you this number, write it down, right? If that happens, I can tell you this longer term trend will eventually start to play out in terms of the upwards direction. So what is the key resistance? Well, you can see, right? I've already set some alerts right over here. 182, 181, pump, 183, pump, 184. Then let me just set now, right? Since I'm watching this stock as well. All right. So $1.80. Let me just draw this horizontal resistance level. You can see, right? Since I would say last year, for more than a year, we have been below the 180, right? In fact, you can see in last year, July, it was a bit of a support, right? From May to July, it rebounded, pam. We broke the 180, right? Support level, a bearish signal came out, the green line point even down, and there we go, all the way, all right? In January this year, not too bad, right? We actually rebounded, we headed to the same 180, and same thing, 1 week later, a bearish signal came out, we go all the way down, all the way down, right? So now we are like almost back to the 180 lah. Does it make sense, all right? We are back. I mean, in fact, this last week we went to a high of 175 lah. So almost, right? So anything near 180 lah, all right? It could be 172, 175, 178, 179. I mean, you get the point lah. Anything near 180, I think we could see some selling pressure coming back, which is normal because it was what we've seen over the past 1 year, right? But the key here is that if, I don't know when, don't ask me when, I don't know, right? But of course, if it happens, I will know because I've set my alerts, right? So if it breaks above the 180 and we stay above 180, I can tell you guys that would be a very meaningful upwards move, all right? We may even see the next phase to $2. I think that is where there could be more upside momentum. Buyers will really start to come in, all right? It could really be the start of the uptrend for me. And when that happens, I can tell you, this thing which I draw, the red and the blue line, right, will eventually start to point up, and that will be another confirmation that the long-term trend has indeed turned up. Does it make sense so far? All right. So that is key, right? The 180. So let me just pull back your comment, Vincent, all right? Is the stock on an uptrend? And is it good to buy? But because it has come down a lot from its historical high. Yeah, indeed, it has come down a lot, like I mentioned, right? So is it time to buy right now? Not saying that you cannot. I mean, definitely there are already signs of a strength. We got 1, 2, 3 bullish signals. The short-term trend, look at the green line. Obviously, from going down, it has started to turn up. Is it still turning up? Yes, it's still turning up, right? So if you want to nibble a little bit on dips, I think, yeah, maybe near 160. 160 could be a little bit of a support level. Could be a bit of support level. You can stay above 160, still okay, all the way back to that 180. But have a plan, right? Because maybe if you go below 160, okay, let's see, we can turn on the trailing support as well. So trailing support is around slightly lower at 150, right? So you can try to time your entry, right? 160 to 150, rebounds back up, great, right? But I think for a more solid confirmation, right, in terms of the longer term uptrend actually playing out, as I mentioned, we need to get past that $1.80 firmly, all right? And even the $2, all right, if that will be another confirmation as well, right? That would be even better, all right? But right now, yes, we are already seeing some beginning signs of a reversal. So definitely I'll put this stock in your watch list, all right? We got 3 bullish signals still playing out. There's no bearish signal, or there's no bearish signal as of now. All right, so Vincent, I hope that answered, give you a little bit of an opinion on AEM. All right, okay, so let me go ahead to look and see if I can cover the next stock, all right? So I know we have a lot of stocks over here. So guys, just my apologies if I cannot, as I said, today is one person, all right? So normally we try to cover about like 15 over stocks, but today I have one person, so maybe a bit slower. So maybe I try to do at least 10, okay, again? Okay, let me see, let me see. Okay, Pauline. Good morning, Joey. I'm thinking of buying UMS. Can advise what is a good price for entry? My good price for entry. I think another one of you asking about UMS as well, right? Sadie. UMS has been going uptrend for quite some time. Should I take profit now? See, wow, two different. One thinking about buying, Sadie thinking about selling. Right? Should I take profit now and just hold, or just maybe hold for further gain? All right. So one is thinking of buy, and Sadie maybe I've got in previously sitting on profits, but maybe can hold longer or more, so that maybe you can go up more and then you can sell at a higher price lah. Right. So let's go ahead to take a look at UMS right now, since like Pauline and Sadie is looking at it, right? So UMS. Where is it? Over here, right? The code is 55. right? So, wow, not too bad. Let's take a look, right? So UMS is definitely, I mean, if you have been following us, maybe the two weeks ago when we did our AMAS Friday Singapore session as well, I think we also covered UMS, and I also got my team to send out a note on WhatsApp on this UMS as well by WhatsApp broadcast. As I say, if you're not yet a client, check out the link, it's right above. That's where we share some of those ideas daily to our clients for free at no additional cost. So I think we definitely sent out a note on it on UMS a couple of times over the past few months. All right, I'm not too sure exactly where, but definitely after the 1 GT bullish signals came out, whereby we got more confirmation. All right, so you can see that since 23rd of April, right? 23rd April, we got the first 1 GT bullish signal coming out, right? The second one came out about 3 weeks later on the 14th of May, right? And it went up even faster, all the way up, right? So longer term trend obviously is up. Short term trend, looking at the green line, it was down in April. Pump in May, started to point up. Is it still pointing up? Let's see. Yeah, it is still kind of pointing up. Does it make sense? Right? So short term trend, I would say, is still positive, right? So I want to share with you guys this very key level right over here, right over here. So let me just remove all the signals, and I want to draw this very critical, I would say, resistance level, right? It used to be about $1.40, so 140 to 150. Look at this, right? Just in February last year, we headed to this resistance level right over here, right? The trend was up then, right? Short term was up, right? We went from up, flat up. So we headed to this 140 to 150. And what happened, right? A very bearish reversal candlestick actually came out, right? And that's where we really started to sell all the way down. 140, 145, maybe up to $1.50 psychological resistance. So when we were to hit to that level, right, I think that's normal to see selling coming back, to see some profit taking actually coming back, right? Now, let me go ahead to turn on the bullish signals again, right, for UMS. Let's take a look, right? So, of course, we got a bearish signal previously, a few more bearish signal, and all the way down, right? Over the past 1-2 weeks, well, finally, right, we have gone above the 140, plus we have gone above the 150. Now it's what price? Now is 1.54, right? Which is above 150 lah, right? So that means something, right? That means that we have kind of like, gone above or broken above the key psychological resistance level that we have been trading below for more than 1.5 years, right? Since January 2024 last year, right? So quite long already, right? So the fact that we actually go above this psychological resistance, that can mean something, right? But of course, you don't go above, then come back down next day, right? Then not so good, right? But if you go above, you stay above, and that's where it is a new support level. So what I could do right now, based on these two lines, let me just remove it. It will be a red turn to a green, because as I say now, it becomes a support level. Support we like to put in green color. So I think anything above 140 to 150, it looks okay, right? Bullish signals are in play, and very good, Sadie, that you mentioned that you have got in. I'm not too sure exactly what price you got in. Should you take profit now, or should you hold for further gains? So what we always say, if a lot of clients always ask us, like, hey, Joey, it's gone up by 10%, 20. Okay, let's how many percent, son? 55%. So you've gone up by 55%, right? Should you take profit or not, right? Well, I think, right, first of all, there's nothing wrong to take profit, right? Take partial profit, take half, take 1/3, take 1/4, up to you, right? I mean, it's good also to put in some money in your pocket, right? Feel a bit more confidence, look for other opportunities. I think that is perfectly fine to lock in some profits. But what I'll do is that I never want to take full profits, right? Why? Because it still looks good, all right? I mean, I don't see a bearish signal. Can you guys see a bearish signal? I don't see it, right? So there could still be potentially more upside. So I don't want it to take all, and after the next day go up, and wasted, sell everything already, right? So what happens is that it is normal. I mean, it's perfectly fine to take partial profits, up to you. But I think it's also okay to leave some balance. Don't take too much, right? Hold some balance shares such that you have more meat in the game. You still have some balance shares to potentially ride even more upside, right? And for these balance shares that you're holding, then you can take steps to protect, right? Protect your profits, right? So don't let it come all the way back down. Then from making money become losing money. Then of course, don't do that, all right? So let's take a look at maybe the trailing support to see where could it be. You can see right away. So this is what I've drawn now. So you can see trailing support is around 140. All right, so if we stay above 140, whereby there's still some space, all right, over here, I think it still looks pretty okay. It still looks pretty okay. All right, so if it goes below $1.40, then not too good lah. Not too good. It means that we have gone below the space given. Plus we break below the trailing support. Then you might want to have a plan to reduce some exposure, all right, and protect the profits. But other than that, if you're above it, short-term trend is up, long-term trend is up. There's no bearish signal. I think we could still potentially see even more upside, especially now that we are consolidating at a higher support level already. Not even 140, as I say, 150 already come out as a support over the past 4 to 5 trading days already. Does it make sense about? All right, so that is UMS. So targets could be maybe all the way to 170 to 180. That could be the upside targets. All right, so I hope that helped. I hope you have a better opinion on UMS. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next stock. All right, let's see. Grace, I'm your client. Thank you so much, Grace. Only these few months I follow your app. Very beneficial. Thank you so much, Grace. All right, thanks for being a client of mine. It's great that you're getting our ideas daily. I do make some profit. Awesome. Thank you very much. Right, appreciate your team hard work, Cindy here. All right, okay, very good. So yes, I say, guys, those of you who want to get some of my ideas daily by WhatsApp, like Grace, like Cindy as well, right? And many of my clients here as well. If you're not yet a client, say you're trading. You log into your trading account on the app, on the mobile phone, on the website, whatever, right? And then nobody actually do anything or send you any ideas or video or direction or focus. Check it out, all right? Let me just place the link in the chat because I think it's probably somewhere at the top already. So find out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities, whereby we do provide value-added services at no, I repeat, at no additional cost, right? You do not pay anything more, right? It's the same, right? Free, same, right? Same as whatever you're paying when you're trading, right? It's the same, right? Doesn't matter, right? But you do get some service as well, right? Some of the top ideas by WhatsApp daily for free, right? Like all our clients over here, right? In fact, I think UMS also, we got sent out a note, all right? I'm not too sure exactly when. Maybe somewhere over here, all right? So it's gone up by quite a fair bit. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Let me go to look at the next stock. So we have covered a total of 6 stocks right now today. LHN, Yangzijiang Shipbldg, Frencken. Number 4, Sheng. Number 5, AEM. Number 6, UMS, which is this one over here, right? So let's see what would be the next stock, all right? So forgive me, guys, if I cannot cover all of it. Let me just go ahead to go through. I'll probably pick some of the more popular one that a lot of people are asking about. All right, Ken? Let's see, right? VC, right? I think a lot of you are asking about the banks. A lot of you are asking about the banks. So maybe I can cover the Singapore banks, right? So let's go to cover the banks, right? So for me now, I would say that the banks, right? So we have the banks like DBS. Okay, so among the banks, DBS, OCBC and UOB. Well, I kind of like DBS a little bit more because we saw some really good bullish price actions coming out for DBS over the past few weeks. Let me show you right over here, right? There we go, right? For DBS, you can see that the longer term trend is up, right? Since last year. Along the way, yeah, we did have a couple of bearish signals. That was the most recent bearish signal in April, right? When Trump introduced the tariffs, right? There we go, all the way down. Obviously, the green line, let's say, that will be another confirmation, that we are seeing short-term weakness, right? Down. But then what happened? A bullish signal came out. 1 week later, the green line started to turn back up. There we go, flat all the way up. We got another bullish signal. So for DBS, I would say, okay, maybe you have time to just go through very quickly on OCBC, right? But I do like DBS right now because we have broken a very key psychological resistance level. I talk about it in some of my YouTube videos as well. The 46 resistance level, you can see, right? Since February, beginning of the year, we have touched it 1, 2, 3, came down, even over here. June came down, $45.50 to $46, all right? But finally, mid of July, pump. We broke above it. Of course, we got a bullish, another new, right? 1 GT bullish signal as another confirmation. Of course, the green line also that was going flat started to turn up as well. All right, is it still pointing up? well, I think the green line obviously is still pointing up. So I think the short-term trend is still quite okay. Longer-term trend, red and blue line, that one, as I say, very easy to see. Already up since last year, right? Don't need to say, okay? And so long-term trend is up, short-term trend is up. We broke a critical resistance level. We got another new 1GT bullish signal. I think it looks okay, but the fact is that when to take some profit, what is a resistance whereby you could see some selling coming back and say nothing wrong to take some profit, especially if it hits to some of those very critical resistance level whereby some heavy selling can appear, right? Nothing wrong to take some profit, right? You can take profit, maybe come back down, you can buy again, right? So nothing wrong, right? So what are some of those key levels to watch? Well, I think, right, this $50 to 49, right? Look at this right over here, right? So I would say that the range, the consolidation range for DBS, as we have consolidated previously, was from 42 to 46. That is kind of like the range. So you kind of extrapolate up right over here. From here, you take and you put it right over here. There we go, guys. Can you see that? It fits quite nicely, right? From 46, you project it up. Actually, it's about $50. So anything near 49 to 50. Don't ask me exactly where, all right? I mean, 49 to 50, it could be 49.20, 49.50, 49.70, right? Basically around that level right over here, right? And you can see, I think last week we were what? Last week the high was 49.20. See, so anything, 49.50 to $50 around there. I think that's where potentially we may see a bit of profit taking coming back. So if you want to take some profit over there, I think nothing wrong, right? Maybe a bit of consolidation, take some profit, pull back. You could think about getting in again, right? So that is for DBS. But overall, it looks quite okay because support, so support will be about 46. But if you can turn on the trailing support level, let's take a look, right? Trailing support has gone up even higher. Why? Because prices have gone up, right? So it has followed it. And trailing support, you can see it is around $47.30, right? $47. Also where the green, in fact, look at this, right? The green 20 days moving average line is right over here. So 47.30, all right? 47.30. I think that these are what we call good support zones. But if you get hold above it, still okay. In fact, I think today some bargain hunting is coming back as we push lower just now already. All right, so that could become like the range for DBS. Okay, let's move on to cover maybe a very quick one on OCBC, right? OCBC, let's take a look. Where is it? So OCBC, well, we can go here. Okay, let me just change this a little bit, right? So I think we are back to this. Okay, it used to be about $17.30, but now quite clearly, guys, $17.50. $17.50 would be a very key psychological resistance. Why? Well, because we hit it there just about 2 weeks back, and we saw this bearish candlestick coming out, right? Something like what we call shooting star, right? A shooting star whereby we got a long upper shadow, okay, coming out. Buyers were in control in the morning, but what happened? Sellers came back and pushed it all the way down. So we got a long upper shadow. It's a red candle. We close below the opening price. Not that good, and especially if it happens near the 1750. And after that, you see, right, prices started to go down, all the way to where we are right over here, right? So right now, trailing support based on this would be around that $16 and I would say 75 cents, $16.75, right? So I think we can hold above 16.75, still okay. In fact, today seems like a bit of a reversal candle coming out, right? The next few days critical, right? You can stay above 16.75. Hopefully, we can see a bit of a reversal back up to $17.50. All right. So bullish signal have came out in April. We have gone up. Now some profit taking is coming back near 1750. So just take note of some of the key levels. 1750, maybe support coming out 16.75. All right. Okay, so that's for OCBC. So now let me go ahead to see if there are any Singapore stocks to cover. Okay, so Yoklen, yeah, I've covered like DBS and OCBC. Maybe you have time to cover another bank, but let me go ahead to see if there are any stocks to cover, right? Chincat Mok. All right, Chincat Mok. Hi, good to see you here as well, Chincat. All right, let's take a look at this stock called PanUnited. Thinking to buy, right? What is the good price to get in, right? Very good. Thanks for the context, Chincat. All right, PanUnited. United. So you're looking to buy lah, huh? Let's see if really can buy or not, huh? $1.03. Okay, look at these guys. PanUnited, right? Okay, let me just go to turn off this, right? So you can see quite clearly, guys. Oh, not too bad, not too bad. So the longer term trend has been up. We got a couple of bullish signals since November, January. I think this was in April. April, we got a bearish signal when Trump introduced tariff. 2 weeks later, we got not one, but two bullish signals. Wow. And there we go. There we go. 69%, 69.8% in 3 months. In 3 months, right? So if you have been guided to get in, alerted, all right? And I want to share with you guys in case I forget, right? What happens is that, as I say, I'm using my one good trend strategy, right? For this one good trend strategy, we have this 1GT Pro indicator whereby on any stocks, I mean, today we are covering Singapore, but next Friday it could be US as well, it could be the market, anything, right? Any stock, any asset classes, turn it on, you get an opinion in seconds, right? You get an opinion in seconds, right? So that is how this, indicator helps me as well, right? 69.8% in about 3 months, all right? And not only that, right? It guides us on when to get out as well, all right? So if you want to find a bit more, as I say, attend one of those free webinars. The link is in the chat already, probably somewhere above. I'll just place the link in the chat again in case it's like, hidden somewhere at the top, right? So that's the link in chat. Find out more. Attend a free webinar. We have one next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. All right, and I look forward to share more with you in that free webinar. Okay. So let's take a look. Bullish signals coming out. Long-term trend is up. Short-term trend was actually sideways. A bearish signal came out. Sideways. Pump. Up. Is it still up? I think it's still up. I mean, don't need to bluff yourself. As I said, up means up, down means down. Okay, again. So longer term trend is still up. All right. And if I can quickly turn on the trailing support level, let's take a look, right? Where is it? So this trailing support have came out since April when the first 1GT bullish signal actually appeared. All right. And from the trailing support, when it first appeared, it was at 57 cents, 57 cents, but it follow, up, follow until become now 96 cents already. Does it make sense? All right. So this trailing support, as I say, you follow, but don't follow too close. You give the stock the volatility space, a bit of room to breathe, right? Don't be like a stalker, right? And give it some space, okay? Then let it hopefully go up, right? And as it goes up, you follow it up, right? While staying closely behind it, but not too close, right? A little bit of space as well. So you can see follow from 57 all the way up until 96 cents. So as long as we stay above, right, still okay. In fact, I think like past few, we started to see a bit of profit taking. We came back down, and today, all right, today we are kind of like pushing away from this trailing support level that has been following it since April. Does it make sense? All right. Resistance level, I think quite clearly, 108 to $1.10, 118 to 110. So I think that is the range right now. Normally, what we advise is we try for a more conservative kind of entry. We try to time our entry near a trailing support level, right? Probably near that 96, 98, $1, 101. I mean, near the trailing support. I'm not too sure exactly what price, because of course, you want to try to get in near the cheapest, more attractive price, right? But sometimes I don't know whether it will go down for you to buy, then it will go up, right? So, but the point is that we try to get in near the trailing support, right? Especially if all the signs of it moving up is still there, right? As I say, the green line obviously still pointing up. Long-term trend obviously still up already since last year. All right. So now, it seems like it's going up a bit already, right? Now it's 103, right? If you go near 108, take note now, we may see a bit of selling, but if 108 were to break, even 110 were to break, target could be revised, right? Maybe all the way to 120 as well. So this is PanUnited. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. Liquidity, this take note, might be a little bit thin in terms of liquidity. So make sure you do proper position sizing as well. A little bit of risk management to watch as well. All right, Ken? Okay. That would be PanUnited. All right, PanUnited. Okay, let me just go into cover. All right. So today, I think we have more than 300 of you over here. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you are new, all right, okay, would it be okay, guys, if you help me to like and share? Help me to like and share this live stream, like and share give me some heart shapes and like right over here. All right, thank you so much for the heart shapes and like. You know, just give me a heart shape and like so far, especially if I've covered your stocks lah. Let me know. All right, so if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, all right, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that when we go live in the future every Friday, you will be alerted as well. So thank you so much for all the hearts and like, appreciate it. All right, so let me go to see what would be the next stock to cover right now. All right. So if you're just joining us, guys, today we are looking at Singapore stock. Ask me any stock. I've gone through like 9 Singapore stocks already. And, you know, if you're looking at Singapore stocks, type in the chat, give me a bit of context, and I'll try to cover them as well. Okay, let's go. Next one. So I'm kind of like scrolling up to see, right? Here, let's see. OLS, iFAST recently has gone up quite a lot. Is the uptrend still up? Is the uptrend still up? Okay, good. Can still buy. Okay, let's take a look at iFAST. All right, let's take a look at iFAST right now. iFAST, iFAST. Where is it? Wow. So it seems like I've drawn some targets. All right, I've done a little bit of an analysis. So this is iFAST right over here at $9.07. So you can see, guys, for iFAST, okay, let me just go to remove all the signals so it's a little bit cleaner for now. All right, quite clearly for iFAST, since like 2024, right? In fact, we look a little bit further back. We look a little bit further back since 2021, right over here, right? 2021. We were over around the $9 to $10. So $9 was a bit of a psychological resistance level, right? Look at this, right? Of course, somewhere around 2023. Same thing, we touched around $8.50, $9, came down, all right? So $9 would be, I would say, a very meaningful resistance, right? The next most meaningful one, or a very critical one, we want to write it down, that would be the $10, all right? $10 resistance level right over here in September 2021, all right? Down, up, a double top pattern actually formed. There's a very critical reversal pattern, right over here, near $10, right? And we really started to sell all the way down, right? In fact, I could turn on the bearish signal and see what actually happened previously, right? Let's turn it on. And look at this, right? Pump, bearish, 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 all the way down, right? Of course, the long-term trend also turned down. Look at the red and the blue line. Does it make sense so far? All right. It was a downtrend. So let's fast forward to what has happened over the past few weeks. Over the past few weeks, finally, all right, we have seen the short-term trend in terms of the green line that was going sideways for 2 months, 3 months, right? Started to turn up. But that confirmation actually came in right over here when we broke above a very key resistance level, or the trailing resistance, and that will be where we got a 1 GT bullish signal. All right, and over the past few days as well, another 1 GT bullish signal is coming out. Right, so I think for iFAST, back to your question, Mr. Ho. All right, is the uptrend still up? Can still buy? Well, I think the uptrend is like, you know, starting to form up in the longer term. Why do I say that? Well, same thing. Look at the red and the blue line. The red is still below the blue, right? We want the red to be above the blue, plus both pointing up, right? Something like over here, something like this over here. Can you see? Here. So previously, right, the red was below the blue, and then look at this right over here. So red went above the blue. Of course, we got a few bullish signals coming out, like what's happening now, right? So we got a few bullish signals, but the red was still below the blue, right? But when the confirmation came, and the red 100 days moving average line went above the blue 200 days moving average line, we got another bullish signal, and there we go, right? That's a confirmation that the long-term trend has turned up as well, all right? So same thing. Now, the short-term trend has already turned up, no issue on that, but the longer-term trend, we need more confirmation. I think that would come if we can stay above this $9. So as I say, $9 was where we were previously in February. We came all the way down. Right now, today, I think the high is about $9.11, right? $9.13. Now we are $9.10. All right. So it's still above $9. So that's a good thing. At least we are trying to stay above the $9, right? But it's only like 2 days, it's only 2 days. So I think, maybe up to next week, right? If we can stay above $9, $9.10, $9.20, $9.30, and we hold above it. But then this red line, I can confidently turn it to green color, right? Because now that resistance that we are still attempting to break, right, would be a new support level. Then that would be a good thing. That would be where I would say that the short-term trend can continue to point up. We might see a bit more upside all the way to 10. Of course, if the $10 were to give way, targets could be revised to $11. All right, so that would be for iFAST. So I would say still okay, but just that it's gone up quite a bit over the past 2 weeks. I mean, from here, the bullish signal all the way to now, 33% already, 33.9%, right? So it has gone up quite a bit. So right now, I just hope that you will consolidate above $9. That comes out as a new support. I think that could give it more confirmation that we are indeed seeing the longer term trend starting to point up as well. All right, Ken? So that would be for iFAST. Okay, very good. So let me move on. Let me move on to the next stock. All right. So just give me some time, guys. I'm looking through the stock, right? OV8. Who is asking about OV8? What stock is that? Oh, Sheng. We have covered Sheng already. So I think some people are typing the code. So I don't remember all the code. So best you can type the name out. All right, type the name out so I can go through and see if I've covered the stock. So if I've covered the stock, you guys, I will not cover it again now, right? So you can watch the replay. It'll be on my YouTube channel right after the live show. That's where you can watch the replay to find out more. Okay, let's see. Let's see what are some of the stocks that you guys are asking about. LHN Roland. We have covered LHN already. In fact, LHN was the very first stock for today, Roland. All right, so you can watch the replay to find out. All right. Chloe. Hi, Joey. Is the uptrend for Centurion still intact? Right? Not too sure, Chloe. Are you holding on to it or you're looking to buy? I don't know. Right. So maybe you can just type in chat, holding if you're still over here. Let me know. All right. But let's take a look at Centurion. Where is it? 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look. Okay, there we go. This is Centurion at about $1.76. I would say Centurion is one of the stocks we have been covering since last year. I mean, those of you who are my clients, you probably receive a few messages on this stock since a couple of months back as well. All right, very strong, longer term, uptrending stock. I mean, just by looking at the red line, all right, and the blue line all the way. I mean, it's been pointing up since like last year. In fact, I think last year. All right, Ken? So very strong longer term uptrend. In the short term, doesn't mean it cannot come down. Well, we could see it come down a little bit. We might see bearish signal and then it sell down for 1 week. This one maybe go sideways for 2 weeks. This one maybe 2 days. All right, so a couple of bearish signal coming out. It just goes down a little bit. But the fact is that after a bearish signal, right, we always get new bullish signal and then another bullish signal and right? This one was the most recent one. That was in 6th of May, then all the way up, right? But now it seems like we have a 1 GT bearish signal coming out, all right? So Chloe, is the uptrend for Centurion still intact? Let's find out. So I would say that the longer term uptrend is intact, right? I mean, the red and blue is up now, right? So we're kind of like above it, and the longer term trend is still up for now, right? But let's find out in terms of the short term trend, right? The short term trend. So you can see that for the green line, that was going up from May until like July. Well, this green line seems to be, let's see. Is it up or down? I would say it is not up, not down. It is sideways. Does it make sense? All right, it was like up a bit more and then like now a bit sideways. All right. So for Centurion, I think we are back to a little bit of a consolidation level, a sideways consolidation level. So that would be where we might consolidate above a support and below a key resistance level. So what would be a very good, I would say, support level? Well, I think 160 could be a support. That was where we kind of like rebounded from, right over here, rebounded. Next day, quite a good bullish Marubozu candlestick came out and we rebounded from this support level. So 160 to 170, I think that's where some bargain hunting can come back again. All the way to maybe about 185. Right? It seems like that is the range, especially if the green line, all right, starting to kind of like flatten out. So you can see, right now, the green line, 20 days moving average line, has already flattened out. It doesn't mean, doesn't mean it's going to crash or anything bad. I mean, just means taking a rest, right? Taking a rest. I mean, after going up from here, right, a bullish signal from here, 6th of May all the way to here, 41% in 2 months. Let it rest a bit, I mean, don't stress it, right? Let it rest a bit, right? So we are seeing a bit of consolidation for now, right? Maybe from 160 to $1.85. I think that will be healthy as well, is to see a bit of a consolidation. You rest, up, down, sideways, a bit of profit taking, and then you break the resistance and you go even higher, right? That is what we call a more healthy and a sustainable trend. Whereas if you just go up every other day, like over here, all right, from here all the way up for like 2 months consecutively, higher high, higher low, and then you take this and you put over here, all right, and then maybe you draw another one over here, and it goes up to $3 in like 1-2 months. Then you want to be careful, right? Because that's where there's no support being found. As it moves up, it can be dangerous as well. So normally what we want to see in an uptrend is that we want to see consolidation while it is going up, right? That would be more healthy, all right? And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So something like this, like over here, can you see? We consolidate, we got a couple of bullish signal, pump, all right? Of course, April got the, Trump announced the tariff, then came down, and then we started to push up again, all right? So a consolidation is healthy, right? So I think for this, Chloe, for this Centurion, right? Is the uptrend still intact? Not too sure we are looking to buy or maybe to get out, but I think if you want to take some profit near 185, that's fine as well. If you want to think about getting in, but maybe try to time your entry near the 160 to 170, right? I can turn on the trailing support to guide you as well. Let's see. So trailing support, you can see it is around the 160, 162, 160, around there, right? Around 160, which is what I've drawn as well. So I think anything above 160 is still okay, right? We have kind of broken it, right? Of course, rebounded from it, but the fact is that we finally went below the trailing support, right? And that's the reason why that bearish signal actually appeared, actually came out, all right? But we can use this as a guide. 160 would be where the previous trailing support is. Okay, guys, so that's for Centurion. All right, okay, let me move on. Let me move on to the next one. Norman. Hi, Joey, can cover Keppel, please? Holding some and thinking of accumulating more. Keppel. Let's find out, Keppel. Okay, let me write down. Keppel, where is it? Over here. Okay, seems like I've done a little bit of analysis. Let's take a look. Keppel, I think this is Keppel that you're asking about, right, Norman? Is it correct? All right, Chloe, thank you, no problem. All right. Norman, let me know if is this Keppel, is it the Keppel REIT or Keppel some other, I mean, there's a few other Keppel, but I think this should be Keppel, right? Okay, good. Okay, let's go ahead and see what is Keppel doing. Well, not too bad. I think Keppel, we essentially, guys, what we're doing right now, right? I've turned on the bullish and bearish signals, right? So that's what I've been doing for the past, all the stocks that we have covered, right? But if you look at it, right, like this, without the bullish and bearish signal, sometimes it can be a bit intimidating, right? Hey, what should you do? Should you buy? Should you sell? The price go up, go down, or green red, so many lines, how to see, right? So as I say, if you want to find out a bit more about the entire One Good Trend Pro indicator and perhaps how you could have access to a tool like this to guide you on entry and also exit, right? You can attend one of those free webinars, right? The link is in the chat already. I just want to place it in the link because I think it's all the way hidden above. So I'll just place the link in the chat, right? Click on the link and you will be directed to this page. So this one final call, right? We have one, I would say probably the last session next Tuesday, 5th August, 7:30 p.m. sharp. We'll be starting on time. It's on Zoom. All right. Fill up your name, email, contact number as well. Submit and secure your spot for next Tuesday session at 7:30 p.m. Right. That's where I'll share with you guys a bit more about the entire One Good Trend strategy. Okay, let's look at Keppel right now. Right. Let's turn on the bullish and bearish signals from the One Good Trend Pro indicator. There we go. Longer term trend has been up, I would say, for Keppel. Look at this, the red up, blue up, red above the blue. Short-term trend down. In May, it started to point up. Up. I would say that the short-term trend is still up. Does it make sense? All right. So still okay, right? Now, what we can do is that, back to your question, right, Norman? Holding some and thinking of accumulating more, right? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because normally, right, when we are, and that's exactly what I'll cover in terms of the mindset as well in the free webinar, right? But in a nutshell, most people, whereby if a stock is moving up, all right, so you're holding some and it moves up, all right, so the price is higher, so you're sitting on some profits, right? You're sitting on some profits. Most people will be thinking about selling that, what they have, right? Because they bought already, right? It went up already, so they're already making some money. So you're thinking about actually selling what you have. But the pros out there are actually thinking that, if the stock are still good, maybe don't think about selling and you don't want to cut your profit short and make a little bit of money, but maybe thinking about, even though I'm holding, I could actually buy more, right? I mean, of the good stock that maybe can go up more, all right? And holding more plus buy more. Does it make sense? And that could increase, that's what we call scaling into a trade. A little bit more advanced stuff, but a little bit on the mindset right over here, whereby if the stock is good, right, and you're holding on to it, that doesn't mean you only must sell. You can also buy some more if it is good. Does it make sense, right? So that is one thing about mindset. So very good, right, Norman? Holding some, thinking of accumulating more, right? So I think that's a very good mindset to have because obviously the stock looks good at all fronts. We can go to turn on the trailing support to see where it is. Trailing support is right over here. I would say around the $8 mark. Look at this right over here, right? $8. We broke it somewhere in 2 weeks back. So this trailing support has been following for 570, follow until now become $8 already, right? And we're still above it. So I think it's still okay. It's still okay. Maybe today a bit of profit taking, right? But you can see that we put back a little bit, but still above the lows of yesterday. So yesterday was a very good move up, right? I think we broke out above the 825. Look at it, right? So it's a bit of a resistance here. You can see, right? So a bit of a resistance came down, touch, came down, pump. All right. I think there was some announcement, if I'm not wrong, right? There was some announcement, right? It's a surprise to the upside. Very good announcement, very good profits. There was announced earnings as well. Keppel share buyback scheme sends stock to an all-time high here. So they kind of announced a share buyback scheme. It sends it to all-time high. Keppel announces $500 million share buyback program, right? So that was some of the news that was announced, and it gapped up. It broke above the 825 kind of like a resistance level. Does it make sense, all right? So quite a huge gap up, right? Quite a huge gap up. So I think today normal to see a bit of profit taking, right? But it doesn't mean that because of this profit taking means we are going all the way down, right? So far, I think it still looks okay. In fact, it could be a good opportunity to think about getting in on dips, right? On dips. So what would be the support level? So this 825, whereby it was a resistance, we can turn it to a green line, right? Right over here, right? 825. So let me just remove this. So very simple. $8 would be a psychological support. Also where the trailing support is, whereby I know there's some space, right? But a higher support level have came out because of what happened yesterday, right? The higher support have came out, and that would be around 825 to 830. I say again, $8.25 to $8.30. So if you're thinking about accumulating, right? I'm not too sure whether you dip a bit more, but if it does dip a little bit more to there, that could be a very good resistance, turn support to think about getting in, all right, to really ride all the way back up to $9. All right, as I say, looking still quite bullish. Only thing is that we gapped up quite heavily yesterday because of the news. All right, a bit of profit taking today, but overall still quite bullish. Short-term trend up above trailing support. Long-term trend up. There's obviously no bearish signal out as of now. All right, so that is for Keppel. All right, Norman, I hope that helps. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Styler. Okay, let's maybe cover this two more. Let's just make it like 15 stocks. I say, guys, today a bit slower. Sorry, okay, because one person, so I need to like cover, look through, one by one. After I finish, I need to go and find one more stock to choose. Propnex, P-R-O-P, Propnex. So Styler, thank you so much. I think you have been joining us almost every Friday. Really good to see you over here, Styler. All right, but let's take a look at Propnex. Okay, let's take a look. I think this was definitely one of the stocks that we shared with our clients in Phillip Securities a couple of weeks back. All right, let's see what it says. But let me see what Styler is asking. Right, Propnex went down to $1.35. Yeah, correct. Even on 135 maybe yesterday lah, right? And go back up 140 now. Up a bit more, now 142 already. Okay. Is it still uptrend? Thinking of selling, average cost $1. $1. Wow. Here. So you've gotten probably over here. Congrats, man. I think you probably saw the bullish signals right over here. All right, when it was like above $1. And $1 you get in, I mean, based on these bullish signals that came out, let's see. About 38, 39% lah. Well, not too bad, not too bad, Salah, right? Congrats to you for making a pretty good, decent profits. But I think you can see that this, it looks pretty okay, right? Longer term trend is up. We got bullish signals coming out since June, early of June, 11 June. Another one, 27 June, and went up even faster after that, right? So now it's $1.42, right? So what you say is true, right? You went on 135, rebounded, and in fact, it seems like now it's going up already, right? Okay, so what would be a very key level, right? To maybe think of selling, right? Think of selling doesn't mean you go and sell, right? Just think of it, right? Think of it, right? Probably don't want to sell all, don't want to sell so many. Why? Well, because I think it still looks okay. But if you're thinking about selling, maybe I can help you out over here. The $1.45, look at this. 145 since about 2 weeks ago. You see, we came here and then red bar. All right, right over here, another bearish candle. Next day, pump, pull back down. So now we are 142, which is very near 145 lah. All right, so if you ask me, if you're thinking about selling, Propnex, it could be near 145 lor. All right, up to you lah. 143, I don't know, 144, 142 also. If you're not greedy, up to you, right? So that is one thing about if you're thinking about selling. Okay, then my question is that, do you want to sell a lot, or maybe you sell half, sell 1/3, or maybe don't sell, right? So I would say, as I say, nothing wrong to take some profit, right? Whenever clients come to us and say, take some profit, I mean, 40% in 2 months, I think okay to take some profit lah. It's okay, nothing wrong, okay? I mean, put some money in your pocket, right? And then hopefully you leave some, and then hopefully you can go even higher, right? But my point is that even though there's nothing wrong to take profit, you also don't want to take too many profit, right? Because I think as of now, there could still be more legs to the rally, right? The short-term trend is up. The longer-term trend, I mean, look at the red and blue. They one up since last year, right? Bullish signals in play. We have neared the trailing support. Not even near it, near a bit, and go up already, right? Buyers are starting to come back. So I think now support would be not even near that 128 or 130, right? I think maybe 135. We are seeing some good support already coming back. So 135 to 145 now would already be the range. Does it make sense? Right? My take is this. I think that, as I say, up to you whether to sell some, but I think it still looks okay. Right? My take is that I think if we can break 145, right? As I say, last week we didn't. We went up, then came back down. So today also maybe can go up, or maybe next week can go up and come back down again. Right? But if we never come back down, if we break the 145, don't ask me when. I don't know, right? But what I could do to know is that I could set an alert at 147, pump. All right? 148, pump. 146, right? Pump, right? That's it, right? 146, 147, I will be alerted. And that's where I'll look at the price action again, right? Look at a few other more confirmations, maybe even the candle as well, right? And if that happens, I think that could be where we could see another phase up, right? Another phase up. Targets could be revised, maybe all the way to 150, or maybe even all the way to 160. Does it make sense? All right. So that is for Propnex. Definitely one of the stocks that we share with our clients. Yeah, I mean, a bit of consolidation, a bit of profit taking, which is normal. I mean, you 40% in 2 months, let it rest a bit. It's okay, right? Right. Let it rest a bit. It's like almost 38, 39% in about 1 month plus. So consolidate, attempts to push even higher. I think that would be more healthy as well. All right, so very good, Tyler. I hope that answers your question. Average cost $1, now it's 142. You're definitely making some money, right? What you want to do, right, is to take steps to protect your profits, right? Protect your profits. I think what you could do is that if it goes below the trailing support, maybe below 130, right, and then you would want to reduce some exposure. You don't want to hold all the way down, lah. Does it make sense? All right, so that's how you can take steps to protect your profits. Not just about making more profits, but also protecting the profits that you have already. I mean, it's still unrealized. You haven't sold yet, but it is. You can potentially make. All right. Okay, very good. So that is for Propnex. Okay. Wow. Let's see. Okay. Okay, Haiti. Yeah, maybe just two more stocks. Just two more stocks, right? Okay, maybe let's take a look at Kinghua Thai. Can look at Singapore Exchange S68, which is SGX lah, huh? SGX, let's take a look. SGX, where is it? Wow. SGX, right over here, 15.99. Okay, let me just remove the trailing support. Let me just write it now. All right. Roland, can average on Centurion? Roland, we covered Centurion just now already. All right. So I will not be covering the same stock again. So you can watch the replay. All right. So let's take a look at SGX. King Hua asking about SGX, right? I think SGX is not too bad, right? In fact, it has came into my watch list over the past few months, all right, because we actually saw some bullish price actions coming back, right? Long-term trend is up, all right? And of course, since maybe even August, we got bullish signals, bullish, right? Went all the way up. Bearish one from Feb to March, before the tariffs and stuff came back down. But new bullish signals came out all the way around April, right? Pump. Another one here, pump. All right, that was on the 26th of June. Started to move up, right? So I think it looks pretty bullish, right? And we can potentially see more upside, but you want to put this key level, and write it down, right? Take note of this very key level. This level is the $16 psychological resistance. Let me just draw this red line right over here. So you can see that the green line, right, the 20 days moving average line, there was like up, flat, up. Now it is still kind of like pointing up, right? But if we were to stay below the $16, all right, then I think that this green line will start to kind of like flatten out, all right, start to flatten out. So I think you want to watch this level, right? It seems like over the past 1-2 days, I think yesterday, right, quite a bullish candle came out. The high was 16. You see $16. The close also $16. All right. Today the high was $16.10. All right. But you see now come back to what? Now come back to 15.99. Does it make sense? All right. So it seems like right now, I mean, like what has happened over the past 2-3 weeks, this $16 is quite a key psychological resistance level to watch, right? We could still see selling coming back, right? Even today went up, then come back down again, right? So unless we were to break above 16, right? We go above it. In fact, we have gone above it, but you go above it and come back down, they're not counted, right? You go above it and you stay above it, you close above it, and maybe up to next week you stay above it. That's what I mean by buyers being prepared to buy at higher prices. And when that happened, that would be kind of like a good thing. That could be a good thing whereby we would see the next phase of upside. So based on the consolidation, I would say it used to be doing this consolidation over here, same thing, consolidation. We can project it upwards a little bit. And after the $16, well, then potentially, and based on this right projection, maybe to 17.50, right? That could be the upside. That could be the upside all the way up. So yeah, I think it still looks okay. Just that, as I say, it's kind of like, taking a rest, moving sideways in the short term from $16 ceiling, all right, maybe all the way to a floor of around 15.50, right? Yeah, 15.50 to $16, 50 cents, 50 cents, up down for the past like 2-3 weeks, right? So that might be the range for now. You want to try to get in, maybe try to get in near the 15.50 support. But ultimately, as I say, we still need to get past the $16, all right, firmly, with some good bullish candle spotted, even better. Does it make sense, All right, so that's for SGX. Okay, right, let's see. So let me go into cover, guys, all the stocks that we have talked about. So in case I covered them, right? I mean, I covered them again. I will not cover them again, right? So you can watch the replay to find a bit more, right? So at the very first stock we covered, okay, so we covered the markets first, S&P 500 index, the STI, and I did a very quick market outlook, what has been happening in the market, why are we seeing strength and all that, right? And what happens is that the first stock that I covered was LHN, number 2, Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, number 3, Frencken, number 4, Sheng, number 5, AEM, number 6, UMS, number 7, DBS, number 8, OCBC, then PanUnited, iFAST, Centurion, Keppel, Propnex, SGX, which is this one, okay? So just maybe one more stock, right? One more stock. All right, and okay, let me see, one more stock. Guys, first of all, my apologies if I cannot cover. I just like did a quick count. there is like, more than 40, 50 stocks and I'm one person today, right? So I really hope you understand, right? It's not that I never care about you or what, right? But just there's too many stocks, right? So maybe you can join us the next Friday, right? Next Friday will be US. Next Friday we'll be back to Singapore, right? So just want to apologize if I cannot cover all your stocks, right? Okay, let me just choose one more. Right? Let me choose one more. Okay, maybe I can choose one of the stocks that I like as well. That we have been looking at it. It's been a pretty good, move up. Some bullish signals were spotted as well. Where is that? Let's see, right? Okay, Esther, maybe I can cover Food Empire. Right, Food Empire, Esther, right? Hope you're still here, Esther, all right? But let's take a look. Food Empire. So not too bad. I like Food Empire because, we have covered this a couple of times. We caught for it as well a couple of months back in May, June as well. Went up, long-term trend is up. I can turn on the trailing support level to see where it is, right? We're right over here above trailing support at about 215, right? But seems like not even 215, seems like 230 has came out as a bit of a higher horizontal support level, all right? Resistance, write it down, Esther. I think that's very clear, all right? That's a psychological resistance level, 2.50, right? So let's go back to your question. Can I buy some Food Empire? Average price, you got in 180. Well, very good, right? You probably got in over, maybe over here, right? I think at the point in time was above the trailing support. In fact, we went near it and pushed away from it, right? So 180, now it's 236, all right? So confirm making money, right? So very good. Took some profit, still good to hold. So you have took some, right? Not all, some. Okay, very good. So take some profit. Is it still good to hold? Well, I would say it's still okay. It looks okay. Nothing wrong to take some partial profits, I mentioned. So good. Put some money in your pocket and hold some balance as well in case it can push up even higher. So right now, we are above the 230 horizontal support, above the trailing support, whereby we gave it some space. All right, obviously, we're still above the space. Green line still pointing up. Right, it was like flat, right? Flat, and then you got in, right? Then now it goes up, it's still up. Long-term trend obviously still up. So looks okay, I think for me, it's very simple. If you can go above 250, right? 250. So you can set some alerts, right? 253, pump. 252, pump, right? 254. So when all this happens, right, I will be alerted by an app notification, even an email as well, right? And I want to share with you guys one thing, right? All this while, I mentioned that for the One Good Trend strategy, I've been using the One Good Trend Pro indicator to cover all your stocks, right? To give you a quick opinion in seconds, right? And you can type the name of any stocks and it appears. But some of you might ask me, hey, Joey, is it I need to type the name of the stock or the asset class and then come out, then I see, right? Can it when the bullish signal or the bearish red color signal come out, then you let me know. Then it send me an alert, then I go and see, rather than every day I go and check. Does it make sense, all right? So can we actually set alerts such that if any bullish, let's say you break 250, then a bullish signal come out, or maybe we go below the trailing support and then a bearish signal come out, right? Can we be alerted, right? Can we do that? But the answer is yes, right? The answer is yes, and that's what I do. That's how we're alerted to certain bullish signals, right? We could set an alert, right click, set an alert. One Good Trend Pro indicator. Normally I set buy or sell, one short settle all, right? Buy or sell alert once per bar, right? So you can see, right, notification by app, so my app will ding, all right, post notification here will pop up over, then email, so I receive, so confirm no one, right? So that is how I can do it. One Good Trend Pro, buy or sell, create. That's it, right? So when a bullish green or a bearish red signal comes out, that's where I'll be alerted, right? Then that's where I could decide, to take some profit or to get out, or maybe ride even further, Does it make sense so far? All right, so that's what you could do as well for the One Good Trend Pro indicator. All right, so that would be for Food Empire. So take note, right? I think 250 would be a very key psychological resistance. I think it's still good to go. In fact, if the 250 breaks, we could ride even more upside. Targets could be revised all the way to 280, maybe even to $3. All right, and I can tell you this trailing support that's been following it since 120 now, follow until 216. All right, it will continue to follow it up, right? While giving it the space to breathe and hopefully move higher. All right, so that is for Food Empire. I hope that helps, Esther. All right. Okay, so now it's about 12:26 p.m., guys. All right, so now, how many of you want me to share with you guys, perhaps, a top stock that you could put in your watch list. All right. Let me know this type of T, guys, this type of T for top, bonus stock type of T for top. If you want me to share with you guys a top stock that you could put in your watch list, right, for potentially more upside. Let me know type T for top. T, top bonus stock, T as well, T, Bagwan as well, Victor, Catherine, Cynthia. All right. Thank you so much. Right. Thanks for staying all the way to here. I think more than 200 of you are still over here joining me. Thank you so much. So as promised, right, as what we do on our every Friday weekly AMAS session, right? We'll cover your stocks. I mean, today Singapore, so we cover your Singapore stock. And at the end, it's only one person today, so only one now, right? But normally if my team is here, me, Bervin, and Z, then each of us will cover one, so there'll be three. But today only one. Okay, one bonus stock you could put your watch list for potentially more upside. All right. So what would be this bonus stock I'd like to share with you? Okay, so first thing first, I've just been looking through the comments. My apologies, guys. I think like Gary asking about Genting, Roland asking about Oitech. Sorry, I cannot cover. It probably will take like 3-4 hours this whole live show, right? So we try to keep it to about 2 hours. All right, so you can join us in probably our next Friday AMAS session, and that's where we'll cover the Singapore market again, right? So next Friday, which is the 8th of August, and that would be US. That will be US, right? So today, Singapore, next Friday, US. Okay, so I hope all of you have got value. Right? So my apologies if I cover Victor 2 lah. I mean two bonus lah. Okay, I try. Okay, I try. Okay, let me cover one more. Let's cover one first lah. Let's cover one. But I think not too bad. You can put your watch list. And this was one of the stocks that we actually shared with our clients as well. All right, let me go. I think some of you maybe were asking about it. Shucks, it went up a bit more. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's take a look, right? So this is CNMC Gold Mine. The code is 5TP, right? 5TP. So very quickly, let's take a look at it. Longer term trend has been up. Look at the red and blue. I think this one you already know it, right? Okay, Ken. And we got a bullish signal coming out in April, right over here. The short-term trend started to point up and it went sideways, flat. A bit boring, actually, a little bit boring from May to June. All right, of course, we set some alerts waiting for it to wake up, right? And never wake up until last week, finally wake up. All right, Ken? So how do I know whether it wake up? I mean, we got a 1 GT bullish signal actually coming out, all right, out of here. Right, that was like on the 23rd of July, last Wednesday. All right, Ken? So we woke up, right? We got an alert for it. We broke above a very key resistance level. In fact, I can draw this resistance level right over here. I mean, you can see, right, came down and touched and come down in June. But last week never come down. In fact, we went above the resistance level, right? So we went above the 47 level, right? And not too bad, right? And we started to consolidate a little bit. And in fact, a bit of a resistance around that 50 cents. So you went above it, you woke up, then take a bit of a nap again, right? Then went sideways for a bit from like 47 to 50, up, down. And today, right now it's what? Just now I saw was 505. I mean, see, 52 again, right? So wasted, could have gotten more, but never mind. 52, and we have attempted, I mean, right now we are attempting to break the 50 cents psychological resistance level, all right? What we could do right now is to do a little bit of a projection right over here, right? And from this consolidation range, whereby it was pretty boring from May to June, projected upwards, I would say targets could be maybe all the way to around 55. I think 55 could be a near-term target, right? 55, or maybe even that 60 cents, just to give a little bit of a guidance in terms of the projection, right? So I think that could be kind of like the upside, right? That could be upside, right? From 50 all the way to 55 and even that 60 cents. So let me just remove this now. I think that would be, we've already gone above that. We can turn on the trailing support to see what it says as another guidance, as another confirmation. All right, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So trailing support has popped up, right? Up, flat, follow, up, flat, up, follow, flat, follow. Started to move up over the past few days, so it's starting to follow also, right? Okay. And trailing support is around the 48, 47 level, right? Which is okay. I mean, it's following up as it moves higher. It will probably go up to 50 cents, 52, and it follows it up. So we're still above the trailing support level. So I think not too bad. Anything above 48 or maybe above 50 cents, right? I think, in fact, it seems like we are starting to move up already, all right? We could potentially see more upside towards the 55 or even 60 cents. And then you might take a rest again, right? And that's where you could take some profit along the way, all right? If it hits to any of those key resistance level. All right, so that would be for CNMC Gold Mine, right? CNMC Gold Mine, pretty much the bonus stock for today that you guys can put in watch list for potentially more upside. In fact, as I say, this stock, if I'm not wrong, I actually got my team to send out a note on WhatsApp as well to our clients in Phillip Securities. So one final note, guys, I think I talked about it in over the past 2 hours. But if you are not yet a client of mine, I mean, if you want to get an idea like earlier, like I don't know, I think we sent out a note maybe last week or something, right? I mean, yeah. So if you want to get ideas like this much faster by WhatsApp daily for free and no additional cost, right? Check out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities, where I'm a broker, right, for free, all right, and where I'm a broker in Phillip Securities, I have my team to assist me as well, and that's where you get some of our services, ideas, private trainings, videos, much faster, all right, daily for free. Okay, Ken? Receive, right? I think Victor received, received today. I think I got my team to set up today as well, if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, probably, right? So that is what you could do if you're not yet a client of mine in Phillip Securities. I'll just place the link in the chat because I think it's probably hidden somewhere already. I'll just place the link in the chat one more time. Check out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities for free, all right, for free. Okay, good. So that's it, guys. That's it. I think that is pretty much the bonus stock for today. All right, there's a bonus stock for today. And yeah, we have come to the end of today's session. How many of you got value? How many of you got value today? This type of V for value, guys. If you have got some value today, especially if I've covered your stocks, type V for value, let me know. All right, thank you so much, Victor, Helen, Cynthia, thank you as well. Dave, Catherine, value. All right, Joanna as well. Thank you so much. I think some of you are joining us every single Friday. Really appreciate the support as well, turning up, engaging, typing the chat, and I hope that I covered your stock as well. All right, if not, then as I say, sorry about that, but we hope to cover more stocks in the future as well. All right, so thank you so much. I look forward to see you guys in the next AMAS session. All right, next AMAS session, which would be next Friday. So let me just place the link in the chat. So next Friday, guys, take note, next Friday we'll be back to the Styler, thanks for covering Propnex. Awesome, no problem. All right, Maria, value, Andy, value. All right, so I'll just place the link in the chat. Right, next Friday we'll be back to US, and my team will be back with me. I think we'll be full force, right? Full force. So today only one person. Sorry, so a bit slow. But next Friday back to full force. My team will be here, and then because there's 3 persons, so there'll be 3 bonus stock lah. All right, Ken. So I'll see you guys next Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. Joey here. Have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye, Victor. Bye, Yeling. Bye. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye, everyone. Bye.